Getting to the money, I be getting to the back. People think I'm funny cause I always make them laugh. I ain't even being funny, I be really spitting facts. I'm about balance and I got talent. Every challenge I overcome. Low-key is savage, never be average. Give me a task and I'll get it done. Minding my business whenever I come in. I'm hitting in business while I'm having fun. I ain't worried about winning, but that would be dumb cause there's no competition. I already won, huh? Yeah.
Peace, 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 family. How you all doing? Hope all is well with you. My name is Keisha. I'm the owner of Astrologiks, and I am your astrology coach. Today, I am going to be continuing my Pluto through the sign series with Pluto in Libra, or Pluto in the seventh house. And so this video is for you if you have Pluto in Libra, or if you have Pluto in the seventh house. So what is Pluto? Pluto is the ruler of Scorpio, and it lives in the eighth house. This is death, rebirth, transformation, childhood trauma, any of the divinations, parapsychology, so that's astrology, numerology, tarot, psychics, palmistry, all the divinations. This is psychology, hidden knowledge, hidden secrets, research, deep research. It is also the psychology of money, so debt, taxes, insurances, other people's money and people you owe money to, and any kind of government assistance. And Libra is marriage, partnerships, business partnerships, relationships of all kinds, sister, mother, friends, your social environment or your social interactions, contracts, agreements, counseling. It's mostly really therapies, counseling, or some kind of mentorship, but really any kind of counseling, and the legal system, the justice system, on a state level, right? Anything to do with the legal system on a state level. And so when you put the two of these together, Pluto is very intense lovers. These people are very magnetic. They have a magnetic pull to them. And they might attract Plutonian type people. At the very top or highest vibration of this, these people crave and desire intense love affairs, soul bonds with another. You know, that kind of attraction when you look into each other's eyes and you're able to be vulnerable with another person. They can look at you and know exactly what it is you need or what's wrong. And to even have some kind of communication in that form where there's really no words being spoken, but you know what each other's thinking. You can be in a room on separate ends of the room and you know where to look and find each other eye to eye. You can be close in a room and it almost feels like you guys are literally on top of each other, just connected and intertwined on a very soul bond level here, very intense level, where it almost feels like you are inseparable. but it also scares you at the same time. And when you're a fear of the very thing that you want and desire, it can lead to the opposite effect, right? And the opposite of that is power and control, possessiveness, people who project on you, um, people that you give to the way you want to be received, but never get it back, making you feel powerless. And they take your power away from you. And so you'll go through these traumatic experiences, even if they're friends or a parent, any other kind of relationship, even in your in your social circles, you will attract these type of people who are completely obsessed with you. They want to be near you, but don't respect you. They kind of will dismiss your desires and the things that you want the most, or make you feel ashamed or embarrassed for the desires that you want. Um, Even in business relationships where there's some kind of contractual agreement, but you have to read the fine print, the red tape, and you have to see the red flags in a relationship that in relationships that are not good for you, who don't feed your soul. And because Pluto is an outer planet, it's the furthest from the Earth, it's the darkest planet. You go through this for such a long period of time, and almost nobody tends to know the struggles that you've gone through relationship wise. You might even be somebody who spends a long time being single or not having any sexual partners, or choose not to be sexual, um, because of all the traumatic relationships that you've experienced, even with your friends, that you will choose not to have friends. You'll go long periods of time without having any social interaction until you learn your power. It's a part of the dark night of the soul. It's a process in which you have to go through to learn and understand your power and why people act the way they act towards you until you can hold it and disperse it in a healthy way. And that takes a lot of time to master. And so these people struggle with relationships very early on, depending on where it is in your chart. I have Pluto and Libra in my first house, and so it happened for me very early on in my life. And it took some time to learn. It took a lot of trials and tribulations to learn that, um, just as much as you are afraid of receiving the deep, passionate, intense love and bond that you want, people are just as afraid of you because you exude that energy. And you have to understand where your monsters in the closet are, what they are. You have to understand the monster under your bed before you can find and build relationships with people on a level with this amount of power and intensity in a healthy way. And so there's a lot of ups and downs. You could be in and out of relationships, in and out of friendships, in and out of talking to and not talking to family members or siblings or your parents, due to the projection part of it, where people will project on you because they see you as such a powerful individual, but you might not see that about yourself. And so you'll run in the opposite direction of that relationship, whatever it's mirroring to you. until you can understand it. You'll separate yourself from it so that you can take your power back to understand it. And that takes a lot of transformation, training, being disciplined, open-minded, fair, balanced, before you can really be out in the world and accept your power for what it is and not see it as a bad thing or a negative thing, but to understand that there is something about you that you have that other people admire. You are very influential and have the power to change people's minds and get secrets out of people that most people would never know about a specific person. You have the power to hold that person in regard to meeting them where they are at in their life, good or bad, not being judgmental and understanding that what they went through is not anything to be ashamed or embarrassed by. And this is a very tough placement to have because these people crave relationships so deeply. They want them so bad that they're almost willing to do anything to be in a relationship with somebody. Again, any kind of relationship. But again, it's almost never going to work out in the positive way that you want until you learn how to control your energetic auric field. And in order to do that, you have to understand it deeply, understand that it's not bad, it's who you are, and you deserve to be loved for who you are and accepted for who you are as you do to others. And the more comfortable you get with doing that, the more power you gain when you're in any kind of social or relational interaction or sexual interaction. Knowing when to detach and step back, but you have to verbalize it because the moment you take your power away from somebody who already thinks they are powering, controlling over you, possessive over you, jealous over you, projecting on you, it creates a discord. And so you have to be able to say, I need to step away from this relationship enough in order to breathe because it can be very codependent as well, where you become so codependent on another person, you forget who you are and why you're even in this relationship and why you're showing up. It's another reason why you'll see a lot of Pluto and Libra people in and out of relationships. The problem with this ideology is that societal wise, we're not taught that it's important to take space and time away from your partnerships. And so it's up to you to make sure that people are on the same page as you when you're entering into a relationship when it comes to that discussion, is being okay with taking space. Now, I'm a strong believer in meeting people halfway because I am a Pluto and Libra individual and I can understand how that would hurt somebody to feel like you don't want to be around them, especially when it's so normalized in society that you have to be up somebody's ass 24/7, which is very unrealistic and not practical. Because we're all individuals first before we are the person we are with our partners, which is two and totally, completely different people. But you can't be one thing to a person all the time. It shows that in astrology, whenever you see a transit move into a different sign, you are now completely in a different energy, right? But because those things aren't normalized in society, we don't see it that way. We'll see it as something derogatory, negative, or insensitive. But it's important to take space. And so because I am a Libra, I believe in being together, being alone together. So I'll say things like, well, you have to have your own space in your home. You know, when you're spending a lot of time with somebody, it's important for you might have a bedroom where you both share time and space with a person, but you should also have your own separate quarters where that person has another place where they can go within the same unit, where they can go and do the things that they want to do with themselves to renew the energy, right? To get creative on how you connect, right? And you should have your own separate friends and relationships where you can have an outlet. Your partner should not be your project. They're not yours to control or to tell what to do. They are your partner. They're there for you to lean on when times are bad, but not to change or control you, but to support you and to understand when you're going through something, they'll be there for you and support you and not judge you or make you feel less than. And I think a lot of people don't learn that lesson or understand that from a practical perspective. And so it gets mixed up into something other than a positive way to connect with somebody. And you end up taking on that person's destiny, you end up taking on that person's personality, you end up taking on that person's problems and stressors and things that they struggle with. And it's not even yours. Now you're carrying somebody else's karma. And we have to learn how to be able to deal with that in relationships. And until we do, we're always going to have this Plutonian like relationship um where it's like we have to be together in order to do things, even if it's like I need to know where you are, so you're calling and checking in. There shouldn't be a problem with doing that when you're in a relationship, to help somebody, both people, to help both people feel secure in what it is that their significant other is doing when they're away from them. Those things should be respected in a relationship, and they should be done respectfully. But again, it's not the societal norm, right? We're very, very, very off balance. And so when these things come up in relationships, people will start to think, oh, I don't have to tell you where I'm at all the time. And for the most part, two things can be true at the same time. Let's keep it a buck. They're their own individual. They absolutely do not have to do that. It is not their responsibility. They should agree to do it. And if they do not agree to do it, you have to know that you have to separate, right? Or you have to find somebody who doesn't mind doing that. And everybody's going to experience this in different ways, but the bottom line is that you want to find somebody who doesn't mind doing the things that you're automatically going to do for them, because it makes you feel connected to that person. And it's not about power and control. And so this is a tough placement. But I mean, I obviously I can go into further context with this, but that's about the gifs of it. Family. This is my interpretation of Pluto in Libra, or Pluto in the seventh house. As usual, I love and appreciate you. I hope you found this information helpful. Peace.